Hey everyone, welcome back to another Cyberzoic review. Today we take a look at Dryptosaurus. This is kind of a unique set. The Dryptosaurus to the left over here is the Cyberzoic version. And to the right we have the upgrade parts to the old Beast of the Mesozoic Dryptosaurus. You know, with any action figure toy line, we do see evolution, better articulation, better materials. And we're currently seeing this right now, and it's so cool that we actually have an upgrade kit that can be purchased separately. Actually, it was free if you backed the Dryptosaurus on Kickstarter. Separately, it's available for, I think, around like 26 bucks, but it gives the old Dryptosaurus figure much better articulation on par with the current Cyberzoic / BoTM figures out there. And the Cyberzoic Dryptosaurus retails for around $95. And of course, links to both of these are down below in the description if you want to purchase these figures from Creative Beast Studios yourself. So let's first take a look at the packaging of the Cyberzoic Dryptosaurus. Really like this nice, cool, alternate paint scheme to the original Dryptosaurus. I feel like the original was a sleeper hit of the Tyrannosaur series. I really dig that figure. Just love the feathering coating on it. And the box art is incredible. That is an awesome homage to the old Charles R. Knight painting from like the mid 1900s. Was it Leaping Layops, which was based off Dryptosaurus. Very cool. The unit is Gladius Prime type mount, part of the Fire Clan, and we got a nice picture of that awesome art on the side. I really hope that comes out as a print, because I will 100% put that on my wall in the collection room. And here is it all armored up. Absolutely incredible. That armor is coming out in, I believe, in the next wave of Cyberzoic figures. We got Helena, she's a gladiator, some more tech specs. Yeah, absolutely digging all this Cyberzoic stuff. Very cool, and I can't wait to get this figure out of the packaging. And here's the upgrade kit for the BoTM Dryptosaurus. We'll go over a little bit later of how to assemble this upgrade kit on your older figure, but it's so cool that David is doing these upgrade kits, instead of releasing the figures separately with all the new parts on it. We have the option to upgrade our older figures, and it was pretty cool that these were free if you backed the Kickstarter. But still, 25 bucks for all these parts is really not a bad deal. And here on the back right here, it kind of shows you highlighted in blue what parts are going to be replaced, but we'll go through that a little bit later. So let's crack these figures open and take a closer look. Now, before we take a look at the Cyberzoic Dryptosaurus, let's just go over how to install the new upgrade kits on the old BoTM Drypto. The new upgrade kit includes a triple jointed neck and the new legs that feature the disc joint system for the ankles, which is far superior to the ball joints that we had on the older BoTM Tyrannosaurs. To remove the head, all you need to do is use a hairdryer to heat up the joint behind the head right here and at the base of the neck. Just use some hot air for a few minutes to soften up those joints, or you can just stick the whole head for a few minutes in a hot cup of water. Once everything is nice and heated up, all you want to do is pop the head out nice and easy, and then remove the barbell from the back of the head, which is easier said than done, because that is pretty deep in there. But just a little wiggling should get it out, as I just absolutely launch my studio lights across the room. But yeah, that is a tough one to get out, but heating it up definitely helps. I mean, if you snap it, it's gonna be really hard to remove this joint. Next, you want to use the hair dryer or the hot water method to soften up the joint at the base of the neck and also at the back of the head. After you do that, you want to get this next joint and push that barbell joint deep into that socket till you hear it pop in, just like that. Next, you just want to get this collar piece right here and slide it over that joint. You want this part pointing forward. This is the part that goes over the top of the head, and then just wiggle that joint. It's kind of tough because that joint does move around the neck, so you're going to have to kind of line it up and push, but you don't want to put too much force because you don't want to snap that. And I apologize for the terrible camera angle right now because I have to put this figure on the side to get enough leverage for this to pop on. I had to pull it off camera to put it in my lap to get better leverage. Really hard to do it, trying to do the review on this, but once you have all those joints connected, you get some nice head movement. Now with that triple jointed neck, it looks really good, and it looks a lot better than the full collar on the old version. Now to change out the legs, very simple. The legs are easily removable in all the larger Tyrannosaur figures, and you just get the new legs and just connect them in, and that is all you need to do for that step. And let's just get the left leg in. These are a little tight, but now those are in, you don't have to ever remove the legs again because of the attachment point for the feet. That's the only part that's going to come off now on this, and what you see to show you the difference and how these disjoint feet work. They work much better with that articulation, that up and down movement. I got the old legs right here. These are the old articulated feet. And you can see that's the only amount of movement you would get, because if you went any further than that, you'd pop it off that ball joint. And so this new disjoint on these feet is definitely a really nice upgrade. Now the only downside is if you use those new articulated legs, the old stand-in feet have this giant peg hole, and this would fit over the peg on the base that came with the BoTM Dryptosaurus. These new feet only have actually don't even have any little peg holes on here because they're meant to work with the this new clear base system. Let me just zoom the camera a little bit. But now you have extra legs. You can pop on the old leg if you still want to display it on this base, which I really don't like. After a while, my figures did kind of warp and contort because it's just one point of contact. These new bases offer 2 to 3 points of contact depending on how you have your figures mounted on here, which is much better for stability and posing. And this figure is not even remotely close to fitting on this base. But let's just get it on there really quickly and to zoom out. And that is a much more secure stand-in option than just having one peg on the base. Like I said, just like these figures are very front heavy, and a lot of legs of these style legs of my Tyrannosaurus have warped over time. So the upgrade kit is definitely most welcomed. And now let's take a closer look at the Cyberzoic Drypto, but first let's do some measurements. This figure is 16 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, around 40.6 centimeters, and about 5 inches tall to the top of the head, or 12.7 centimeters. So Dryptosaurus in real life was around 25 feet long, or 7.5 meters. So I put this figure nicely in that 1/18 scale range. Now take a closer look at this absolutely gorgeous figure. The black and white, it's just such a nice contrast. It really makes this figure pop. Now going to the head, absolutely love the coloration on the head. You have this nice like blushing of red along the inorbital fenestra and around the orbit, and then you have those off-white eyes with that black pupil, just really giving this figure such a unique look. And I just love all the paint apps on the crest along the top of the snout, and just all that red, just very nicely done paint apps. You can see all the scales along the lips are nicely defined. Inside the mouth, you have a nice deep pink color for the gums and tongue. All the teeth are painted in beautifully in white, and then going down to the neck, you have like this beautiful feathering of white all the way down the body and then along the back and part of the tail. But you have this nice wash of dark brown to bring out all that definition of the sculpting of all the feathers, going down to the very long, powerful looking forearms. You have two huge claws at the end. The palms of the claws are done with the black scales. Claws are in yellowish color, and then going down to the nice, beautiful hind legs. Same thing, toe claws are that yellowish coloration. But you do have this little hint of white dry brushing along the black scales, especially at the back of the thighs and underneath the tail. It makes all those scales pop on this figure, and you have a little bit more feathering at the start of the tail. Just all around, absolutely beautiful looking figure. I just, the black and white, like this thing just absolutely pops on the shelf. One of my favorites Tyrannosaur figures right now. For articulation, the mouth can open up that wide and close completely flush. The head can move up, it can move down a little bit, but all the real magic happens on this, double jointed neck now. You can get some nice, really nice side to side movement on those two joints, and the head can look up that far, and a little wiggling down, you can get it to look down about that far. Forearms can move forwards and backwards. They're hindered a little bit by this feather covering, kind of restricts the articulation. They can swing out about that far. I think if it didn't have that cover, that you can get a little bit more width on that. Arms can extend out and bend around 90 degrees. They're also on a hinge, so they can swing side to side. Wrists can rotate, and they are on a ball joint that allows just a little bit of inward and outward movement. For the torso articulation, you can get it to go down about that far and up a pretty decent amount, and you can get a little bit of side to side, but then again, it is kind of hindered by this cover. It makes it a little bit more rigid to get some real good bend out of that joint. Hind legs can move backwards and forwards. You get not too much bend out of the knee. It's always been my complaint with this BoTM figures. I wish there was some kind of new joint mechanism that can get the legs a lot more bend. I know, it's the trade-off for scientific accuracy and including articulation. You don't want too much of a cut in the thigh, then it doesn't look natural to allow this muscle to bend into there. But it's always been my biggest complaint about these figures. I love the figures. I just wish the legs could bend just a little bit more. And then going down to the ankle, you can extend the ankle. Let's see, turn it around for a little bit. About that far and extend it in, and then we already took a look at those nice disjointed feet. You get some nice side to side and forwards and backwards motion, and then going down to the tail. Tail can move side to side. No really upward movement because of this feather covering. Another joint on the tail, side to side, up and down, side to side, up and down, and the end of the tail has a flexible rubber wire in it for more articulation. Moving on with comparisons, here it is with Cyberzoic Argentius. And here it is with the newly upgraded BoTM Dryptosaurus. Absolutely love the color differences between both figures. Both look fantastic. I even consider the original Drypto a very, very underrated figure in the original Tyrannosaur series. I'm going to consider the Cyberzoic one the male and the BoTM one the female for my display shelf. And here it is with a couple of the ceratopsians. In the back over here, we have Xenoceratops and the albino Zuniceratops. And lastly, here are a couple relatives of Dryptosaurus, Eotyrannus and Nanotyrannus. Yes, this is no longer considered a juvenile T-Rex. A massive paper dropped earlier this week. The dueling dinosaur, Tyrannosaur, was recently described and shown that it is not a juvenile T-Rex. It is actually a almost mature Nanotyrannus. So, there's been a lot of debate. Is Nanotyrannus valid? Is it a juvenile T-Rex? Well, right now, what we thought were juvenile T-Rexes actually are Nanotyrannus now. So that's why I absolutely love science and paleontology. In the blink of an eye, our understanding of these animals can change in an instant. So final thoughts on the Cyberzoic Dryptosaurus. Absolutely love this figure. The paint scheme is amazing. Just that black and white is just such an awesome contrast. It makes it stand out from a lot of other dinosaur figures. Love the red blushing on the snout and those wild looking eyes. Just absolutely gorgeous figure from head to toe. I can't wait for the armor set to come out. I actually like this figure so much. I actually have the artwork, the Cyberzoic artwork of Dryptosaurus hanging in my dinosaur collection room, so can't wait for that armor set. Like I said, beginning the review, a link is down below in the description if you want to pick this figure up from Creative Beast Studios. I believe the original Dryptosaurus has been sold out for quite a while, so if you like this dinosaur, don't sleep on this. It just seems like this line is gaining more and more popularity. Every few weeks, more and more stuff is selling out from them, so don't sleep on these figures. You want it, Get it now. Don't wait, because the aftermarket prices on these figures just goes through the roof very, very quickly. So that will do it for the reviews. I have a bunch of other Cyberzoic stuff to review. I have a pile right next to me. I got the Dilophosaurus, the Razorhound armor, the Utah Raptor, and the Kickstarter Smilodon. So I'll be getting and Deinonychus. And I'll be getting to those sometime this week and next week. So stay tuned for those reviews. And if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys for the next one.